Guess what? Today I weighed myself and I have lost a total of 16.6 pounds since I started my diet using semaglutide as a tool back on February 20th of this year. So it's been 11 weeks and I'm ecstatic about it. I started out at 235.1 pounds. This morning, when I got on the scale, I was 218.5 pounds. So again, that's a total of 16.6 pounds lost so far. And I'm really happy about it. All right. Hi, my name is John. I was going to reporting on it every month, but I felt it was necessary to continue doing it on a weekly basis because it holds me accountable. And that's basically what I wanted to do is hold myself accountable. Now, I'm going to go over maybe start from the beginning as far as my semaglutide journey. Again, I started back on February 20th. My first injection, which was the lowest dose, was February 19th. And I've gone through two different doses, 0.25, 0.50, and I think this is 1 milligram. So I'm kind of like up in the middle tier right now, and it's working great. My side effects that I did have, uh, dry mouth, it's dissipated quite a bit. I don't have it as much as I used to. However, I still have a little bit of dry mouth the day after I take my injection. So I took my injection last night, and this morning when I got up, yeah, I felt cotton mouthy. So it's gone. It's gone now, so I don't have that problem anymore. Now, I just want to emphasize that semaglutide or Wegovy, as it's called, or Ozempic or Mounjaro or any of the other weight loss medications are not a magic pill or a magic drug or injection in this case. It's just an aid. And you've got to make lifestyle changes. You got to make diet changes. And that's pretty much what I did. Now, the semaglutide has helped with those changes because it's reduced my cravings for food. It's making me want to eat smaller portions because I feel full longer, and that's really what the drug is supposed to be doing. Now, go right down the list. Before you start, make sure you check with your doctor and see if you're eligible to do it. You don't want to do something that's going to be counterproductive to you. So your doctor knows you best. So check with them and say, hey, look, I've been trying to lose weight and I can't lose weight, but I've heard about this and about that. Am I a candidate for it? If you do start it, you're going to start out low. Go slow. Don't be impatient. You're going to start out at the lowest dosage until your body becomes acclimated to it, until uh, you don't have any side effects or you know of any side effects that you're going to get from it before your doctor will increase you to the next level. And it usually happens after a month. So, again, my doctor put me on the lowest dosage and then went to the next highest dosage. And finally, I'm at the next dosage. And I think I'm fine right now because it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. All right, let me give you some tips. Eating and drinking. Eat small, frequent meals. Larger meals can worsen any feelings of nausea or bloating. Sometimes I'll overeat a little bit and I'll just feel bloated and I'll feel nauseous, and it just dissipates after an hour or so. But I notice I can't eat like I used to. It's if I want to feel better, I got to eat small meals. I can't eat greasy foods anymore. So you have to avoid them at all possible. Now, that's not to say that you can't have something once in a while if you can tolerate it, but if it triggers nausea or, adverse effects on your stomach, you may just want to say, "Hey, look, I'm not going to eat any greasy foods." And it's to your benefit because greasy foods are not good for you anyway. Stay hydrated. That's important. Drink plenty of water. Semaglutide can cause dehydration, especially if you have a side effect like vomiting or diarrhea. because that depletes your body naturally. So you want to make sure that you drink enough water, specifically water, and that'll help flush out the fats from your system and flush out all the bad toxins or whatever they're called out of your system. Now, one of the most important things is eating protein. Protein is very important with this diet because it helps with fullness and it preserves muscle mass during weight loss. And this you can get protein out of protein bars, protein drinks, uh, lean meats, chicken, fish. Just check the protein count on it. I'll give you for instance. I came upon, I don't know if you can see this. It's called nori, and I get these at Costco. And if you could see right there, it says 30 grams of protein per can. Now, there's only 150 calories in this can, and there's 1 gram of sugar, so it's very low in sugar. And it has, well, it advertises 10 vitamins and minerals in it, and it's like a milkshake. And this one happens to be chocolate, but they also have a vanilla, and it's the best protein drink that I've tried so far. Some of the other ones I've tried tasted like watered down wallpaper paste. So I found this to be pretty good, and it's not cheap. I think it's almost $20 for a 12 pack at Costco plus tax. But it helps satiate me, and it gives me 30 grams of protein. And I've been using it sometimes during the day. If I'm at my store and I can't eat anything, there's nothing here that's available to eat, I'll grab one of these cans out of the refrigerator because they're best they're best when they're cold. And I'll have one, and that's 30 grams of protein, and it's not a lot of calories in it. So make sure you have enough protein. Some of your daily habits, try to move around each day. Gentle activity like walking can help the digestion and reduce nausea. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I use a rollator. I cannot walk without a rollator and sometimes with a cane, but I feel more secure using my rollator. It's just that I have balance issues because of neuropathy in my feet and back problems. So it's just a function of getting old. So I'm using a rollator so I don't topple over and hurt myself because I have fallen a couple of times using the cane, and I just don't feel steady enough to go long distances with a cane. Now, I can't really walk that far. I walk from here out to my car or from my apartment out to the car, and I can get there. I mean, it takes a little bit of an effort to do it, but I can get there. I mean, I'm not going to be walking around the block by any stretch of the imagination. So I have to find alternative ways to get some exercise in. And I've been using the bands, the exercise bands, the rubber bands that you can get. And I started using one of these seated steppers. Uh, you can get them. I mentioned it last week. I paid $126 for it on Amazon. That included the tax and everything. And this is the thing that you could put under your desk or under a table. And while you're reading or working on a computer, you can be moving your feet. It's just like one of those elliptical trainers. However, you sit down and you use the movement this way. And it works pretty good. It's not going to burn a lot of calories, but it's going to keep you moving. And that's really what I needed to do. So that $126 was worth it to me. And the bands are not that expensive. You can buy a whole array of bands of different strengths and start out with the lowest strength first. And you can get those on Amazon for less than $20. Now, what I do is I don't stand when I'm using the bands. Again, I'm sitting down either in the rollator or I'm sitting down in a straight back chair, and I'm using the bands to exercise my arms and other parts of my body that I feel like I need to work on. And I'm sure that's helping a little bit. Now, things you got to watch out for. Be patient with side effects. Common ones include nausea, constipation, diarrhea, burping. Uh, these usually don't last a long period of time, maybe a week, but if they last for a longer period of time, make sure you talk to your doctor about it and see what you can do. Now, the reason you're going to have constipation, I guess, is because you're not eating as much. You don't have as much to get out of your system. So if you're, if you're used to going every day, you may not be going every day because there's just not enough food in your system anymore. So listen to your body, be patient with the changes that your body is making, and educate yourself to what's going to happen. And you can pretty much predict that. At first, when I first started, I said, oh God, this is happening, oh God, that's happening. And once I got used to it, it worked out pretty well. The hardest part was getting through the plateaus, and I'll address that in a minute. I'm going to go to the next page because I'm referring to my notes. I'm not reading from my notes anymore. Let's see. Mindset and expectations. Focus on habits, not just the scale. Semaglutide works best with lifestyle changes. Weight loss is gradual. Expect an average of 1 to 2 pounds per week and don't rush it. I mentioned in one of my videos that my doctor said he doesn't want me to lose more than 2 pounds a month, but it's almost impossible to do. But he had one patient within a couple of months, they lost 40 pounds. And he said that it screwed up everything in their system and they had to give them supplements and vitamins and whatever else they had to do to get that person back up to snuff. And it's not going to happen to me. I'm going to keep a very close eye on it. And right now, I force myself to eat enough calories per day. Now, the lowest calorie count that I've read, and again, it depends upon your body and your system, is 1,200 calories per day. Now, if you eat less than that, your body's going to say, "Hey, something's not right," and it's going to stop your weight loss journey. It's going to cause you to plateau, and it's going to make you feel bad. It might give you the jitters because you're just not eating enough each day. So right now, I plan on anywhere between 16 and 1,800 calories per day. And I'm pretty much, staying religious to that. And, I keep track of it on an app, and I'll go into that in a minute or two. Uh, I mentioned weight loss plateaus. I had a hell of a time for almost a month. My body would not lose an ounce. And I said, something's not right. But as I kept doing what I was doing, it broke through that plateau. And by sticking with my routine, and all of a sudden, I broke through that plateau and I started losing weight again, which is the end goal. Uh, Weigh-ins and accountability. And this is why I decided I'm going to do a video a week. I'm going to continue doing my video because it forces me to be accountable to myself because I'm putting it on film, and to the people who subscribe to my channel, who listen to me, who follow my weight loss journey, or have a journey of their own. Or they're trying to compare how their journey is going with mine, and things to look for and things not to look for and things to do and so forth and so on. Now, all the experts say weigh once a week. Choose a consistent day and time during the week. Uh, for instance, Saturday morning after waking up. Daily weighing can be discouraging, they say, because it's because you get normal fluctuations in your body weight. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue with my daily weigh in. And I think that holds me more accountable. Plus, if I see something way up or way down, I'm going to say, hey, what's going on? What did I do yesterday or the day before that's causing this spike up or down in my weight loss? Uh, Maybe I'm retaining water again. And that's been a problem in the past where I've had to take a water pill. Or maybe I didn't have enough protein that day, so the day before. So I look at my protein count on an average for the week, and that's the way I I choose to do it. You don't have to do it that way. You can weigh in once a week, whatever is comfortable for you. Now, use the same scale in the same location that'll reduce inconsistencies. Always weigh in under the same conditions, ideally in the morning, before eating, and after using the restroom. So be consistent when you do it. Now, track, excuse me, track more than just your weight. I chose to check my waist and my chest and my legs and everything, and I gave it an inch count. And I wanted to see if there was a difference. And yeah, there's a significant difference in it. My clothes feel much better. They fit looser, and I have more energy. I don't have that hunger feeling anymore. I don't have that cravings feeling anymore. As I mentioned before, I have to force myself to make sure that I eat enough and have enough calories during the day. However, I choose the right calories now. I choose protein. I choose a protein drink. I don't eat the chocolate chip cookies, which I still love to have a couple of chip cookies. However, I don't feel the urge to gorge on chocolate chip cookies anymore. Therefore, I don't even eat them anymore. It's sitting on a counter in the cookie jar, and I said, nope, I don't need to. I can do without it. Now, during your weight loss journey, expect ups and downs. As I mentioned before, water retention, hormones, and digestion can cause weight blips. Look for trends over weeks, not day to day. However, I choose to do it on a day to day basis, and I also look at the week, and I can usually see, where I went off the charts a little bit and maybe didn't eat enough protein, as I mentioned before, didn't do this or had too much of that, and so forth and so on. Now, the accountability tools, use a log or journal. Write down your weekly weight and notes. My weekly weight is on video for everybody to see, and it's for me to go back and see in the future and saying, hey, when I started this, what was I at week 4? How much weight did I lose? And this builds awareness and it builds motivation in me. If I see that I've lost 16.6 pounds, it motivates me to do more. I mentioned again last week that this is the lowest weight since I've been in high school playing football. And I feel great. I feel more energy. I feel not lethargic anymore as far as sitting down like a lump on the log in front of the TV and watching these mindless shows that don't do anything. I do other things. I'm more energetic. And the more energy I have, the more activity I have does contribute to the additional weight loss. Uh, Weekly check in questions. You got to ask yourself, what can I improve? Each week or each day, say to yourself, hey, what can I improve? Can I exercise more? Uh, can I add this particular exercise to my routine? Maybe that'll help. Can I walk another half a mile? In my case, can I, use the rollator another 10 minutes outside and get a little bit more exercise? Uh, Use the tools that are available. I mean, there's all kinds of tools. There's all different types of apps, or you can just keep it down on paper. It doesn't really matter as long as you're keeping an accountable record for yourself, so you know from day to day what's going on and what you're doing. But I found there's I use Lose It. Now, there's another app called MyFitnessPal, and I guess Fitbit and Apple Health have. Uh, I have an Apple Watch. I don't even use the Apple Health because I use Lose It, and I've been using Lose It for years, and it's great because I keep my daily count of calories in there. It'll even, if I put it in there, keep track of how much fluid I take in each day. Uh, when I put in my food, it breaks it down according to how much protein. And I'm trying to keep on an average of at least 100 grams of protein a day. And I think that's important. Uh, celebrate the non-scale wins. And it's funny because I was thinking about the scale this morning. I'm looking at the scale on what's it, 14 by 18 or 14 by whatever the hell it is. And if you step in different areas of the scale, you'll get a little bit different variations in weight. So I've learned to step consistently on the same area of the scale every day. And it's given me an accurate weight. Uh, but there's other ways that you can look at. If you're able to climb stairs, it's going to be easier if you're losing weight. There's less joint pain. I can attest to that because 16.6 pounds, let me see, times four, uh, that comes out to a little over 66 pounds of downward pressure that's not on my joints. And what you do is you take the total amount lost, like 16.6 pounds times four, and that gives you the downward or the amount of weight and downward pressure. So it's less pressure on my knees, it's less pressure on my hips and my back and so forth and so on. And when you lose weight, you sleep a little bit better. You just get a little bit more relaxation. It's easier all the way around. And that's what I like. And the most important thing is smaller clothes size. Uh, I've had to dig out some of my clothes from hidden spots that I had in my home, in a closet, you know, those zipping bags that you put in and you suck all the air out. I've had non fat clothes, or let's put it this way, not as fat clothes. I've had them, you know, in the closet. I've had them under the bed, and I've had to bring those out and find the jeans that fit because the jeans that I currently have, if I don't have my belt pulled real tight, they're going to fall off my hips. So, I mean, that it's a great feeling. And that's it. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. And I hope you found some value in it and look forward to next week's summary of my weight loss. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would appreciate you subscribing to the channel. And if you have subscribed, thanks for coming back. I appreciate you being part of this community. As I mentioned before, I'm trying to get to at least 1,000 subscribers. That's my first goal because I want to get monetized. It'll make it a little bit easier if I have some money coming in to pay for some of the things that I need to pay for my semaglutide because my insurance doesn't cover it. Medicare just doesn't cover it unless you have diabetes. And fortunately, I don't have diabetes, but Medicare just won't cover it. Hopefully, I can get monetized on this channel eventually. Now, if you have any comments, leave them in the comments section below. I usually try to respond to the comments as soon as I see them. However, if I don't right away, I'll eventually get to it and I'll respond to you. So please leave any comments, maybe even about your own weight loss journey, maybe about some tips that you have. And if you want notifications of my next video, there's a little bell on the right-hand side of the screen. And let me see, if you're looking at notes on the left-hand side of the screen, and just click on that little bell, and that'll indicate notifications. And every time I put up a new video, you'll get a notification saying, John has a new video up. So thanks again for listening today. I appreciate it. And everybody have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.